What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Code, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be an AFL update video. A lot of news around the AFL of coming into the very first round in a week's time. So before we get started, please like and subscribe if you're excited for the AFL's return. Long overdue, man. It's always the worst time of the year when the AFL goes missing and we can't seem to see the games anymore. But now that it's coming, the preseason is gone. It's time to get straight into round one. And so yeah, hit a like, subscribe if you're just excited as me for round one of the AFL. And let's get started. So first thing I want to talk about is the update on the AFL Evolution 2 game. For anybody that doesn't know, AFL Evolution 2 has been a game where I think True Blue Studios and Wicked Witch Studios have developed a game that's been delayed for a year, almost a year now, but it's finally going to be released on April 23rd. Few rounds into the AFL season. Great stuff for many people, a lot of AFL fans. This has been long overdue, and I know this isn't necessarily a sports update, but as gaming is part of sports, especially if it's a sports game, of course, that's the name and the title, I feel like I needed to mention it. I love sport games just as much as I love the sport itself, really. So this is great news, and I hope that it's better than the first one that came out, because that one didn't stand the test of time, did it? It was just ended up being basically a PS3 version of the AFL game, really. That's what I saw in it. But very good news in terms of that retrospect. So congratulations to everybody involved in that game, and hopefully we got a real potential to have progression in the AFL series. Great stuff. Now, on to other news. A lot of teams are struggling now with this coronavirus issue. Not necessarily the players, but the fans. So for anybody that doesn't know, who isn't living in Australia, the government has finally come to a decision to ban all meetings that involve 500 or plus people. So in retrospect, this involves into all sports in Australia, the NBL, the AFL and the A-League, all the leagues in Australia that have capacity of 500 plus will not be going. So the AFL at the moment is being played behind closed doors. So round one, we'll probably have no fans in any of the games. And I think overall, because of the coronavirus and the awareness that's been going around in Australia now, it's been all around the world for a lot of the time, but it's been in Australia now as well, and it's spreading everywhere. So that's why people have to stay on their toes and sanitize themselves properly, stay ready for anything, and just prepare yourself, because anything can happen in this world. That's just a message from me. But nevertheless, moving on to the topic at hand, the AFL. Ultimately, I don't think many people would like the decision to play it behind closed doors, because at the end of the day, AFL without fans, it's just another game. It's just another public game, in my opinion. But this happens everywhere in the world now. It's either behind closed doors or suspended. I'd much rather have the AFL play behind closed doors than have it not played at all. So I get we have to stand by the decision. Again, people's health and safety always has to come first. And in Australia, this scenario it's no different to any other country. It is spreading here, increasing in numbers, increasing in areas that I live in, that other people live in. In Australia, it is as big as a deal as any other country. Of course, the numbers itself, because of our population, the numbers itself isn't drastic compared to other countries. But we've got to remember that a lot of people could potentially die from this, especially if you're in the older periods of your life. So you got to be well prepared and manage yourself properly. And the government are taking the steps in order to manage, to reduce the virus as good as they can, as well as they could, until vaccinations come out to help cancel the virus in general, pretty much, and make it stop. And it's going to be a tough time to see, but at the end of the day, I'm sure the players are up for it. The season has been long overdue, so I'm very excited to see the start of the season, really, hopefully, if it happens. Now, the reason why I say if is because next week, the AFL, as well as the government and all these government officials, all these health organizations and stuff around Australia are going to have a meeting to determine whether the AFL gets suspended. Now, the reason why I believe round one will happen is because at the moment, there's been no cases of coronavirus within the players themselves. I think all the players at the moment, if been tested or not, have been clear from the coronavirus, which is something I find extraordinary, but I also don't think it's going to last for long. So maybe round one might go ahead, but I feel like after round one, things could change. So whatever happens in that retrospect, again, it's just one of those things where we just got to stick by their decisions and hope for the best and pray that we can get through this as quickly as possible, just like any other country. And yeah, so basically the meeting is for whether or not the season will continue behind closed doors, or the season will get suspended as like any other sport in Australia. And this meeting is going to be very important. It's going to be very instrumental to the future. I also want to talk about the licensing for the MCG. For anybody that's unaware or doesn't really know about the AFL or what it does or the sport it is, in this retrospect anyway, the stadium that the grand final, the last two teams in the competition to battle out for the premiership, it's held at the MCG at a certain time right before the cricket starts. And if this gets delayed, it's going to be interesting to see if the grand final is still played in the MCG, just based on the licensing issues alone of having the MCG at a certain period of time. Now that that time could potentially be halted or extended, will the grand final be played at the MCG? Pretty interesting concept if you think about it. Where would the grand final be played if it's not the MCG? Let me know what you guys think. Does Marvel Stadium end up playing the grand final? Are we going to go abroad? We're going to go to Optus Stadium? Are we going to go to the Allianz Arena? I don't even think... I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. But anyway, are we going to go to Adelaide, Brisbane? Are we going to stay in Melbourne? Where would the grand final be played if the MCG is not available for game time? Let me know what you guys think about that. That's pretty much it on the update, a short video. The AFL, so this video is basically an update to say the AFL is going according to its plan with closed doors arena. Of course, the games will be televised, so your favorite teams, you'll still get to see them and celebrate like it's normal, but the atmosphere just won't be the same. It's similar to any game that you see on TV these days. The atmosphere is pretty much dead, which might suck the life out of the game, but hopefully the players are professional enough to put on a show for the fans that watch it on TV. And I think that's why ultimately they're going to play behind closed doors, because yes, they do it for the fans. Without the fans, the players would be nothing. And I'm sure anyone would agree with that. The fans make the sport as much as the players. So the players do this for the fans, but although the fans are not there in the present time in the arena, they are there on their TV screens. So it's all about just having that mentality that they still are there. And anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, if you like the AFL, and also like and subscribe and let me know where would the grand final be played if it's not being played at the MCG. That's an interesting question that I would be pretty interested to know the answer to. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is the Sports Code. Stay safe, take care, and peace.